Have you ever noticed how sometimes life feels like you're repeating the same mistake over and over again? You try to change, you try to be more focused, more disciplined, but after a few days, everything goes back to the same old thing. And the worst part isn't even the failure, it's what comes next. That low, cruel voice in your head that whispers, "See? You'll never make it." You start to feel ashamed of trying, tired of starting over, frustrated at seeing the same broken promises. On the outside, everything seems fine. But on the inside, it's like carrying the invisible weight of a war that no one sees. This is the cycle. Trying, failing, blaming. And the most painful thing is that over time, you start to believe that the problem is you. But what if it's not? The biggest trap is not failure. It's the meaning you give it. Because without realizing it, you start to believe that failure is a sign of incapacity, not of progress. When you think like this, every mistake becomes proof that you weren't born for it. And that's when discouragement sets in. You stop trying hard. You do things halfway. You pretend to try, but deep down, you've already given up before you've even started. The problem isn't a lack of strength. It's the presence of an invisible, subtle, but devastating thought. Maybe I'm not good enough. And this belief keeps you in the same place. But what almost no one realizes is that this pain also carries a secret. This feeling of frustration, of repetition, of exhaustion, it may seem like the end. But in reality, it is the beginning. Because it reveals something that changes everything. You still care. This pain does not exist in those who have truly given up. It only appears in those who still believe they can improve. It only hurts because there is a version of you inside you that is still fighting. And that already puts you light years ahead of those who never had the courage to try. Because failure does not prove that you are useless. It proves that you are moving. And movement, even clumsy, is better than perfect stagnation. Think about it. What happens to a baby who tries to walk and falls? No one says he failed, because we understand that stumbling is part of learning. Now, why do we forget this as adults? You fail, blame yourself, and feel guilty. But you never stop to think that maybe, just maybe, that fall was exactly what you needed to learn how to get up. Failure doesn't define you. It teaches you. But you need to stop treating it like an enemy and start seeing it as an ally. Every fall is a raw but precious lesson. And the more you learn, the more you evolve. There is a type of progress that no one sees. It is the kind that happens inside. When you fail, but choose to try again. When you want to give up, but force yourself to take one more step. When you lack motivation, but act anyway. That is strength. That is real growth. It is just not flashy. You can't post it on Instagram. But it is precisely this invisible progress that transforms your mindset. It shapes your identity. Because you stop being someone who tries to win and become someone who doesn't give up. And that is when the key changes. And now comes the hardest part to believe. The reason you fail is exactly the reason you will win. Because this whole crooked path, full of frustrated attempts, has been carving an anti-fragile mentality. You no longer fall apart with a single stumble. You learn, you adjust, you come back. And this ability, to come back, is what separates those who win from those who give up. It's not about having talent. It's about having a comeback, having a new beginning. Those who only get things right never learn how to deal with mistakes. But those who have failed 1,000 times develop a type of courage that no one can take away. There will come a day when you will try again, and something will be different. You will not expect perfection. You will not sabotage yourself when you fail. You will simply keep going. And suddenly, what was difficult becomes a habit. What seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Not because the world has changed, but because you have changed. You have stopped defining yourself by failure and started defining yourself by consistency. This is not magic. It is practice. It is repetition. It is the result of every micro decision you have made to keep going, even without guarantees. And that is what turns anyone into someone unbeatable. You start the process by trying to change habits, but in the end, you are the one who changes. Because every time you act despite being afraid, you rewrite the story you tell yourself. You stop seeing yourself as weak and start seeing yourself as someone who stands up. This is the true identity you build. Someone who doesn't measure themselves by good days, but by their courage on bad days. You understand that success is not a straight line, but a maze where each wrong wall teaches you how to find the right one. You fail, yes, but you fail while moving forward, and that is already winning. Most people give up when things get tough, because they've been taught to see discomfort as a sign that something is wrong. But discomfort is just the body growing, the mind expanding, the identity evolving. Those who understand this don't run away from pain. They use it as fuel, and that changes everything. Because in the end, the winner isn't the one who gets the most things right. The winner is the one who keeps trying the longest. The difference between those who get there and those who give up halfway is just one: consistency. And that's something you're already practicing every time you choose to keep going, even after failing. So now that you've heard all this, pay attention. The reason you fail is the same reason that will make you win. Because failing forced you to grow, to think, to try differently. And this, added together every day, builds the version of you that endures, learns, and continues. This version already exists inside you. And if you've come this far, it's because it's already waking up. Now it's up to you. Write "I continue" in the comments, not just for me, but for yourself. Because every time you write this, you prove that you're still here. And that is already winning.